Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Nacho Tuesday. And today I have Nick here with Forwardly. And without further ado, we'd love if you can introduce your company and your services.
Sure. Thank you, Andy, for having me here. I'm Nick Chandi, CEO and co-founder of Forwardly. We are an accounts receivable, accounts payable solution, making it very simple and easy for you to collect payments from your clients, from your customers, and through some kind of automatic authorization. We also make bill payments very simple for you. We have very streamlined approval workflow so that in case you need to pay 20 bills or 200, we are the system you need to go for. We have a modern looking interface and we integrate with all major accounting systems like QuickBooks, Xero, FreshBooks, and Zoho, and many other integrations are coming soon too.
Nice. What kind of integrations are you guys working on next? I'm excited to hear about those.
Yeah, we are working with the Staging Tact and Microsoft Dynamics 365. That's the other one that's in our roadmap. We are also looking to go in other streams as well, other domain or segment that are being used by some software that are being used by our customers. For example, MediaOcean. Many media companies, they use MediaOcean software as a kind of CRM or their business management platform. So we are looking at that one, ConnectWise for MSP or Autotask or those kind of integrations. So we are going to integrate with the software that are being used by these businesses to manage their day-to-day operations, where they have their customer list, supplier list, so that we can work with them seamlessly or enable business payments for them very, very seamlessly.
Very nice. And where did all this start? What prompted you to start the company, and how long have you guys been around for?
Yeah, it's an interesting journey, And just to give you a brief background, Andy, I have been working in the accounting industry over 20 years. Before founding Forwardly, I was the founder of one of the largest IT consulting company in Canada. We were providing services to accountants, bookkeepers, and other firms. And during that period, I got exposure to accounting system. We got deep understanding how do they work, and we sold that company. And then during pandemic early days, I got the opportunity to work on the PPP program. And we launched a company that was fetching these accounting data from, like, say, QuickBooks and Xero and other platforms. And we were providing that data to the banks or lender and other stakeholders who need real-time access to the accounting data that's coming from these accounting systems. During that experience, I learned that the payment is one of the experience that most businesses face day to day, because it's a very high frequency action or activities that happen inside a business. Maybe not as much as the email or the team call
Well, we always want more of those transactions happening.
Yeah. So every payment is an opportunity to talk to your customer, to your suppliers, and we saw a strong demand from our customers for AR, AP kind of solutions. So slowly, we pivoted from accounting data API to using that data and providing or build that solution based on the accounting data solutions. So today, you can use Forwardly with an accounting system or without an accounting system too. Let's say you need to create an invoice on our system, you are able to use it and request quick payment from your clients as well.
Very powerful. So I guess what are some of the biggest shifts you're seeing in payment and accounting technology today in 2025, and where do you see things going over the next few years?
Yeah, payment domain is really changing. When we started, in the early days, there were checks. Checks are so outdated, but the reality is a lot of businesses, they still make payments in checks. That's the reality we have in the US. Even though the countries like in Brazil or India or UK and Sweden or many other countries in Europe, they don't use checks anymore. Every payment is electronic payment and instant payments they have. Anytime you push some money from your bank account, it shows up on the other side of the pay. We have similar technology now that's been made available in the last few years. We call RTP or FedNow. RTP is a real-time payment. It's a payment solution that's available from major banks like the Chase and Bank of America, those kind of banks. FedNow is a federal solution that's available through community banks. So these solutions, they can send payment instantly from one bank account to another bank account instantly. So we are seeing good adoption of that kind of technology. And I believe it's still going to take some time till we reach to the scale of the PIX in Brazil or in the UK. Instant payments are very common, but we don't see those things happening anytime soon in the USA. Yes, time will change, and slowly we should see some double-digit kind of adoption in the US market, but it's still early days. Even though more than 1,000 banks, they do support these instant payments, but they don't promote it actively. And the truth is many businesses are not even aware of that they can receive payment from your business instantly, from their customers instantly. It's common for us to wait for 3-5 business days. Okay, common through ACH. ACH is a very old technology, developed in 70s, and we are still using it. I know we built some kind of a new system like 2-day ACH or 2-day ACH, same-day ACH, but those are kind of band-aid kind of solution or duct tape kind of solutions, and they are not as fast as instant payments. So that's one thing that I'm very optimistic that it's going to get some traction this year and coming years as well. Other thing that we are seeing in the industry is stable coins. Stable coins are getting very popular for cross-border payments. So anytime you need to send money out of US, they are becoming very popular, and primary reason is the money moves instantly. And the cost-wise, I won't say they are as effective as SWIFT is, because they're as expensive as SWIFT, or maybe even some cases I have seen more expensive than SWIFT for cross-border payment or international payments. But in some corridors of the world, people like to hold US dollars, and it's one of the way to hold the US dollars in your wallet in those countries like Venezuela or Cuba, or those kind of countries where currency, like in Turkey too, the currency while depreciating at a very high speed rate compared to US dollars. So people don't want local currency; they want exposure to US dollars. So these are the businesses who are going to move to stable coins. So that's the other thing that I am expecting to go big time in 2025 and in coming years. And in fact, I'm guessing in the next 3, 5, 7 years that's going to be the mainstream way we send the money out of our country or for any international payment. That's going to become the standard. And there's a company called Circle that they had their IPO.
Oh, they've had a great IPO.
IPO, right? I think they started with $31, and I believe they eventually hit $300, and now I believe they're close to $200. But you can see the excitement. A lot of interest. We'll see how the domain evolve. There's a lot of changes happening with the Genius Act and other changes in the regulatory landscape, and all these things are providing some opportunity for these kind of platforms.
Yeah, I'd like you to reiterate on the Genius Act. I know what it is, but a lot of other people watching today might not understand what the Genius Act is and what it does. Would you be able to perhaps elaborate on that?
Yeah, I can provide you only higher level understanding, because things are still in a
nobody really reads all those.
Nobody really do those kind of things in detail. But on a higher level, and for so far, the banks, they don't want to touch crypto or stable coins. But this law is going to provide these banks and other legal entities to offer these stable coins. So stable coin is a cryptocurrency that's pegged to US dollar 1-to-1. Okay? For example, 1 USDC is equivalent to US dollar. So whether you hold USDC in US market or in UK or Brazil, that holder of that USDC actually holding US dollars in
Very
their bank
powerful.
account, or in their wallet or in the crypto exchange, whatever option they have. Banks have been very hesitant to get into the crypto so far now, but
Yep.
this provide them the opportunity, and in fact, many banks, they're already dabbling in this one, and they are trying to issue their own stable coins. Uh, Currently, the leader is Circle, but we will see, how these things evolve. Like Bank of America, they're also looking at it, and Chase Bank, they already have something internal going on,
Yep.
and they might support this one too. So I believe over the time, every bank or consortium of banks, they will have their own stable coins too. Because think about this one, there's a huge demand for US dollar offshore. Okay?
Yep.
A lot of businesses, they buy in and sell services in US dollar. They want exposure in the US dollar. No one wants to convert US dollar in euro and then convert it back in US dollar. You lose on the currency exchange. So they
Yep.
do want some exposure, and this will provide a great opportunity to them.
Very exciting. So in terms of like RTP payments, why do you think it's taken so long for that to be adopted? Obviously, the consumers and businesses aren't aware of it. I mean, who wouldn't want their payments immediately? Are the banks kind of finding that, they want to make sure that the verification process is smooth for being able to process those payments faster? And is there any fees associated with it that's kind of led to maybe some friction for getting more people on board with it?
Yeah, there are multiple things, that are in factor here. For ITP, when ITP was launched, I guess 6, 7 years ago, it was from a consortium of banks, big banks. So these banks, they launched it, but the smaller banks, they were very hesitant to join a consortium or support a service that was offered by big banks.
Yeah.
They treat them as competitors, and obviously they were supposed to pay some fee to access that kind of service. So
Yep.
that did play a factor in the adoption. Now we have tried now for over a year and a half now, or maybe 2 years now, and close to two. And now community banks are also offering these kind of services as well. More than 1,000 banks, they are on the FedNow network. But there are multiple factors, when we compare with a country like India or Brazil or even UK. In the UK they have a local regulator called FCA, and that regulator enforced all the rules that we need to accept payment or send payment this way. Similar thing in PIX in India or UPI PIX in Brazil and UPI in India. The local regulator, they were very strict. They enforced those kind of rules, their requirements. But the US market is very different. We are a market-driven economy, and we leave it to the banks to offer the adoption and ask. So businesses need to ask for it, consumer need to ask for it. And we see on the consumer space, if you look at the experience of Venmo or those one, it feels like the money is in your wallet right away, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of experience on business side, even though we offer it, but still, very few businesses, they are aware of it. And the banks don't promote it actively either,
Yep.
because it competes directly with their other solution like credit cards, where they make 3% on those credit card transactions, right? And RTP is very, very cheap, compared to credit cards. So it competes against the other business model as well.
Yep.
And if you look at the history tells us, in the US market, we don't replace the payment. We always keep on adding more and more. We have checks and we have cash and we have ACH, 2-day ACH, same day. Now we have RTP, Fed now. They are also in a play, and tomorrow there will be stablecoin as well. Who knows?
Yeah, in terms of checks, I mean, always loved getting a check, something physical to touch, but it's just not convenient anymore, right? Do you foresee checks going away completely, or do you think some legacy players might still use them?
Checks are being replaced though, right? But checks are not going out anytime soon. Okay, we will see how it goes. The truth is, um, federal government, they mandated, they said they're not gonna send checks anymore. Okay? So we'll see how that impacts the landscape. But checks are so connected to our ecosystem. A lot of businesses, they wanna see this as a kind of thing, and even though it's inconvenient, I
Mhm.
know a local printing shop here. What they would do is they would literally travel to their customer, pick up the check and go and stand in the lineup at the bank. You know how much time they waste.
Oh, so much time.
So much time. The studies after studies show, checks are so expensive. If you look at the hidden cost
Yeah.
of the accepting checks, like anywhere between $10 to $25. Different studies shows, uh, look at you need to get the check printed and
Mhm.
stock it, and someone need to take it out, mail it, and hopefully it's gonna arrive on the other side,
Yeah.
and someone is going to open it and they have to enter in their accounting system and
Mhm.
go to the bank. Hopefully they have a mobile app where they can deposit online, but you never know. But that's the other problem. I have huge concern about checks, other side on the fraud side too, right?
Yeah.
Because checks have your routing number and account number
Hmm.
printed on them, and anytime you mail the checks, there is an opportunity for someone to steal it. Okay?
Yeah.
And there were more than 700,000 check fraud. I guess if the data you have, I guess for 2021 or 2022, so
Yeah.
more than 700,000 fraudulent check. Now we have the technology for these scammers. They can change the
Mhm.
pay name on the checks, they can change the amount, and all those kind of bad things happen to the business. And once you have a fraud, once you are a victim of a fraud, it's very, very hard to recover.
Yeah.
There was a PR company in New York. They were accepting check payments from their clients for last 10 years.
Wow.
And what happens, they found that they are not receiving checks anymore. And what they found, the address was changed.
Yeah.
And last I heard, even after 2 3 months, they were able to receive only around 60 70% of the payments that they were expecting from their clients.
Jeez.
So very, very hard to recover, and you can foresee, Andy, what
Yeah.
kind of, it's going to cause huge cash flow problems, because
Yeah.
they do need to pay those bills and rent and payroll, and very, very difficult situation to be in. We
Every
don't
business.
offer, yeah, we don't uh, offer any payment through checks at Forwardly platform, only electronic payment method, because there's a clear visibility where the payment is, both parties, sender and receiver, they can see where the transaction is, and those kinds of things can save huge time and bring efficiencies for businesses.
Awesome. Yeah, the fraudsters are it's gonna be good to see them go out of business though, at least in this
Yeah,
particular way of doing fraud, I guess. And then
yeah,
some of the businesses that owe you money can't get away with the whole, yeah, the check's in the mail, and then it never shows
yeah,
up kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
anymore.
Checks in the mail, always, yeah,
Like, no, I'm using Forwardly. There's supposed to be a real-time payment here,
yeah,
I don't see it in my account.
that's correct. Yeah. Mhm.
There we go. I guess how else have consumer and business expectations evolved over the last few years in terms of like convenience and security of payments? Obviously, more people are starting to expect the real-time payment now, and I hope more do figure out that this is an option for them. But also in terms of security too, right? I mean, earlier, you mentioned some of the issues with check fraud. Is there any potential security loopholes that businesses should be aware of today when it comes to payments? And how is that kind of evolving, what their needs are?
Yeah, so let's look at the expectations, right? The consumer, Andy, I'm pretty sure you and I, we both use Amazon and we use Netflix and Uber Eats and those kind of experience, right?
Yep.
These are the experience we have today, and the young generation of team members or the people, they are born with a mobile in their hand. Yeah?
Yep.
So they won't go anywhere without the cell phone in their hand. That's the new generation is there, right? These are the people who are gonna start businesses. They are the people who are gonna join as an employee in businesses, and that's the kind of experience they expect on the business side too.
Yep.
And honestly, we don't have that kind of business experience, like Venmo kind of experience in the business domain yet, right? We
Mhm.
talked about checks.
Yep.
And we talked about ACH that
They're going
takes
to want
3
it
to
though.
yeah, we want it. Yeah. Well, you want the checks payment to be arrived today. You
Yep.
don't order a Netflix movie on a Friday night to watch it on Tuesday morning, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? It
I
don't
tell
do
my
that.
CEO that too with our marketplace. Like,
Yeah.
there's stuff from the consumer stuff you can learn and apply to a business. People don't want to have a bad experience buying software
Yeah.
too, right? So there's always
Agree.
like
Yeah.
ways we can improve upon the UX and make it easier for people, right?
Yeah. But that's the reality, right? So that's happened in the ACH payment, other payment methods too. Yeah, we have RTP Fed now too.
Yep.
So there's an opportunity for businesses to receive payment instantly from their clients. That's what we offer at Forwardly too. And so talk to your bank. They might be offering those kind of services as well. On the control side, you asked, and in the business payment, we believe business payments are more about the workflows. Yeah,
Yep.
because if you need to make a payment to your supplier, someone needs to make sure those bills are valid, they're real, right? Someone needs to enter the data in the accounting system. So for example, like Forwardly, a good payment system will do is they're going to read all those kind of invoices coming to you for the payment. Yeah.
Yep.
And like at Forwardly, we provide a dedicated email address to every business that sign up so that you can receive all your supplier bills from that dedicated email address. And
Very
we read the data, we do the OCR, or we use the AI to read the data, and we try to code it accurately, close
very
to
smart.
99% accuracy, so that whether it's an entertainment expense or is it a marketing expense, those kind of data, we call it chart of accounts in accounting, or you can call it categories or type of expenses. So
Yep.
all those things, they need to be coded accurately in the accounting system. Then obviously we're talking about control here. So obviously if it's a small business, and then small business, the owner wants to know, they need to approve all the payments.
Yep.
Okay? In some businesses, if they are 25, 50, 100 employees, then they might need two people who are a stakeholder in the payment approval process. Like some businesses we have seen, on thousands of businesses that we serve, they have two or three approvers. If the payment is, let's say, for less than 2000 k 200 maybe 2000, then there may be one person that can approve it. But if the payment is over 10k, then it need an approval from CEO, or it could be approval needed from three people, right? So those kind of controls are needed in any payment system, business payment system. Then obviously we need to collect W9 information, because if you are making a certain amount of payment to these suppliers, you need to collect W9 and you need to issue 1099 to them. So business payment is all about workflows, because we need to reconcile with the accounting system too,
Yep.
right? Because you don't want to wait for 3 days or 5 days to close your accounting books. It needs to be anytime you receive a payment, you
Yep.
need to mark it as paid in the accounting system. So all those kind of things, that they provide control to businesses, business owners or accountants that we serve to, as well as bringing efficiencies in their workflow too. Because no one need to call, where is my payment? Okay.
Yeah, it should show up in the system. And I like your guys' blend of automation and human in the loop to really ensure that things are able to process a lot more efficiently using
Mhm.
the latest artificial intelligence technology that you have today in OCR. I like that you guys are using that. But then you have that human in the loop opportunity too. So you could have key account holders, people that the CEO maybe gives access to, that can actually go through and verify all
Yeah.
the payments and make sure
Yeah.
everything's, although it is automated, there's still somebody there to provide checks and balances to the system.
Yeah, no, sometimes, there are, like Jane was here on the call before, and, like she might be working with an outside PR company, and, she may know more than me that whether that PR bills need to be paid or no. Okay, did they deliver on those commitments or no? So she needs to be a stakeholder in the payment approval process too, right?
Yep.
I, as a business owner, may want to know which bills are being paid, and I can plan when they need to be paid. But the person like Jane, they need to be aware of these kind of things too.
Yep.
So modern technology. They provide those kind of controls to businesses.
Very interesting. What other kind of controls do you guys have? So there's like a key account holder person that's tagged with the bill, and potentially somebody else that might want to get notified of any ingoing and outgoing bills or transactions. What else do you guys have in place there to maintain that level of control?
Yeah, there are multiple levels of controls are in place. Like one I just shared with you based on the amounts. So
Yeah.
you can have controls based on the amounts, and the other one, sometimes in the bigger companies, you can have control based on the supplier names as well, the vendor names. So if you have invoices coming from, let's say, Costco, they need to go to a certain person or certain group of people, you can plan based on that, a chart of account, type of expense, or when the payment need to be made. All those kind of control that can be placed in any kind of approval process.
Very neat. And I guess, how does Forwardly help businesses get paid on time? Do you guys have any services around, helping people collect payments, maybe if the client might not have the willingness or ability to pay? Because like we mentioned earlier, cash flow is king for any company. And, having real-time payments is great if you're getting them, but a lot of companies still sometimes have to chase vendors down and sometimes run into cash flow issues just because they're waiting on a few clients, accounts receivables waiting while accounts payable, your clients, of course, want to get paid on time, but nobody wants to pay us on time, right?
Yeah. So we have something called the auto collection feature in Forwardly. So let me step back here, and this situation is very normal, and you may have seen hundreds of times, right?
Oh yeah.
You have done a great job, but there is almost always someone who doesn't want to pay their bills. Simple. Yeah. And they might have 20 bills to pay, and paying for your product or services may not be the top of their line item that they need to pay. Yeah?
Yep.
It may be somewhere at the bottom of the list. And now all of a sudden you have a late payment, you have bad debt, or who knows, and it will cause cash flow problem on your side. Okay?
Yep.
So the best way to solve that problem is having no AR, basically. Okay? And you can have it if you get pre-authorization from your clients. Anytime you provide a product or service, you need to get their bank information, their credit card information before you deliver those kind of product or services.
Yep.
We provide an auto collection feature in Forwardly. So you make a request to your customer before you get your first payment, or before you provide services or products, and they provide the banking information, and that's the auto collect authorization for you.
Wow.
So next time you provide any product or services, you raise an invoice at Forwardly or in QuickBooks or Xero or any accounting system you use, we are going to collect that payment from that customer automatically without pushing any finger, without pressing any button on your side. That's an automated process. Week after week, month after month, we will be able to collect that payment from that client. So I believe that's the best way to eliminate any kind of AR or bad debt, or cash flow problems.
Yep.
Cash flow problems, cause, I don't know the exact number right now, but more than 82% of businesses, they fail because of cash flow problems, right?
Yep.
And if we can help them, we can help these businesses survive and grow. Then we are playing an important role in the society.
The most important, yeah. As I always say, a company lives and dies by its cash flow. So you can ensure your payments are actually showing up on time with this really cool feature that you guys have. I guess what other specific technologies or integrations would you recommend for your merchants to prioritize over the next 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, in any payment system, the integration, the most important integration any businesses they need to be looking for, it need to be able to integrate with your accounting system and your practice management system, the business management system, whatever you use it. So I believe those are the kind of integrations they must have it. They businesses should be looking for. Other one is connection to your bank account. So in old days we need to be, let's say it's common for businesses to have 2 or 3 bank accounts. And in the old days, what we will do, we'll log into every bank account and we will see the cash balance, and then we will decide from which bank account we are going to pay these bills. Those days are gone. Now we have the technology, like at Forwardly, we show you the bank balance in all or two or three or multiple bank accounts that you might have, so you can make a decision on fly. So having those kind of integrations, they are time saver and they can allow businesses to make good decisions.
Very nice. And I guess what else do your customers have to look forward to over the next few years? What other kind of features are you guys excited about?
Uh, we are building more and more integrations with the other uh, players or software that are being used by businesses. Like I shared about MediaOcean and ConnectWise, Autotask, or those kind of integration that we are looking for. Uh, that we believe we want to build the solution, we want to build the integrations to the platform that these businesses use. Okay? That's the direction we are going for. And other thing that we are working on, Andy, is we are building a network of vendors. We call it Forwardly Business Network. Well, anytime you become a verified business at Forwardly, anyone can send you the payment, any other business can send you the payment, or you can request payment from any other business at Forwardly Networks very seamlessly without any extra work on their side. So I believe those kind of integrations, they bring a lot of efficiencies and improve the workflow, because no one has shared their bank account information or credit card information time and again and again. So once you have information, once you are on our network and you need your bank information changed, it's going to change with for all of your customers, for all of your suppliers. Okay? So those kind of things are more meaningful for us.
Very interesting. I guess where can people learn more about your guys' company and pick up your services today?
Yeah, just go to our website, forwardly.com, and and go and sign up for an account. One last thing I want to touch base, Andy, things come to mind, when you talked about human in the loop, right?
Yep.
On the future of payment, I believe it's going to change a lot with the rise of AI. We believe that, have you ever used Waymo from Google, the self-driving car?
Yep. Very interesting.
Very interesting, right? I believe the future of payments is very similar to Waymo. Okay, like in a self-driving car, you set up and configure it one time, and it follow your direction. I believe business payments are going to evolve into that direction too, with agentic workflows that we are going to implement, and other players are going to do as well. And where you set up and configure payments, and it follow your guidelines. It can see the agreement you have on file with your supplier, with your vendor, and terms are still good. You have been making those payments for last 6 months, and those payments will need to be automatically approved and paid. And you just get a notification or intimation, okay, Nick, this payment is being made, and if you want to stop it, you want to reject it, you can still take the control back. Okay? So I believe we are heading in that direction as well. And the company at a Forwardly, we are moving in that direction, and I believe the landscape is also transforming in that direction as well. So that's what the future looks like.
Sounds like you guys are ahead of the curve.
We're trying to, yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, that's Forwardly.com. Again, thank you so much, Nick, for coming on today. Really loved hearing about your guys' product and services. Sounds like I mentioned, you guys are really ahead of the curve over there. I'm going to start demanding real-time payments from our partners now that I know that it's available. And everyone else, feel free to check it out in the NachoNacho B2B SaaS marketplace too. We're proud partners of Forwardly, and we look forward to growing together as a business with you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Andy, for having me.